Good morning, Doctor. My name is Keshav, and I'll now begin the aid relief system presentation by Group 9. So firstly, let me begin by giving a brief introduction about our system. So our system began because of the once-in-a-century flood that occurred on the 16th of December 2021. The unfortunate event resulted in 54 people being pronounced dead and also 2 people being reported missing up until today. On top of that, there were reported more than 71,000 people who have lost their homes and above 125,000 people being affected by this flood. So we performed further analysis on this tragedy and found a few observations from it. The first was that the information regarding the disaster was spread to many different individual and separate forms of media. This resulted in both victims and rescuers not having the complete information on hand for them to make informed, timely decisions during the disaster. Moreover, the different parties involved in rescuing did not communicate with each other well, and this resulted in wasted time and resources as there were often overlap between their aid efforts in rescuing people, which could have been coordinated elsewhere. Moreover, there's no central management to help coordinate the efforts and handle the circumstances well, which resulted in slow actions from all the rescuing parties involved. Hence, we concluded that there was no system that helped coordinate these people in this disaster situation, and therefore made a solution, which is Gulu. So what is Gulu? Gulu is an aid relief mobile application that allows for acts as a communication platform for both the victims and rescuers. It creates a place for them to organize and manage all the related information regarding the disaster and provides them to both the victims and rescuers to coordinate their efforts to reach a successful outcome. On top of that, it facilitates the rescue and aid relief process by providing the information to both parties and to make sure that it can produce a better outcome in case of future potential disaster situations. So, the business goals that we have identified for our system is to firstly ease the aid and rescue of victims of the disasters. We want to make sure that the process of rescuing and being rescued is conducted as easily as possible for both parties involved. Moreover, we also want to increase the speed of aid relief and ensure that immediate actions can be taken when disaster occurs, from the time that a victim requests help to the time that the rescuer provides it to them. Besides that, we also want to allow fast and reliable communication between rescuer and victims to make sure that both of them have all the have a complete information on hand so that they can make decisions faster and on a timely measure to act accordingly. Moreover, it is to also create a community within the victims that helps one another and build trust in these uncertain times of the disaster. And finally, we want to be able to enlarge the aid relief community by making it easier for people to volunteer and join the aid relief efforts in rescuing victims. So for the stakeholders of our system, we have identified 3 of them. The first is disaster victims, which are people who have been affected by the disaster and lost their livelihood because of this. Next are rescuers. Rescuers can be the government, non-government organizations, and also the volunteers who want to help out in the aid relief process. And finally are donors, who are people who aren't able to lend their time and effort in helping with the aid relief process, but still want to contribute in other forms such as items such as clothes or food or even money to the victims to help out as much as they possibly can. So for each of the stakeholders, we have identified their main objectives and features. For the first, disaster victims, we have identified the main objective of receiving guidance and aid during the disaster, and the potential features of seeking help from our system, requesting basic necessities for them to continue their daily livelihood during the disaster, viewing the aid effort and progress so that they don't lose hope and they can see what is being done to help them, and finally to search for shelter to make sure that nobody else needs to lose their life in searching for where to go during disaster scenarios. Next is the rescuers. Rescuers have a main objective of providing aid to victims effectively and to maximize the limited resources that they have on hand. So the features we have identified is to first view the help requests from victims so that they can act accordingly to help them. Next is to recruit people for campaigns easily and swiftly via our app, and on the other side is to also allow volunteers to join campaigns easily with our app. Or moreover, it is to also view all ongoing campaigns simultaneously and their locations so that rescuers can coordinate their efforts to make sure that they don't overlap with one another and result in wasted resources. And finally, is to allow volunteers to view the details of the campaign, such as the duration or amount of people needed, so that they can join the respective campaigns based on it and allocate their time accordingly. Then finally, for donors, their main objective is to send donations to help the disaster victims, and the features we have identified is to make donations. That is all for me. Thank you.
Hi, Doctor. My name is Huan Yang, and I will be presenting about the elicitation techniques that we have used in developing our system, as well as the user and system requirements that we have extracted throughout the elicitation process. The first technique that we have implemented is the interview technique. We have carried out a few of closed interview sessions with a list of well-prepared questions to understand the circumstances that our stakeholder face. The main reason that we chose this technique is because that we think our stakeholders are well equipped with experience and know exactly what they want in our systems. We listen to the stakeholders and we dive into particular problems to understand to understand the details of the questions, and also we summarize the answers given by the stakeholders, and thus we could explain to our team members and as well as the developers. Other than that, we have also used one of the creativity techniques, which is the six thinking hat method, to view our system in different perspectives. We have assigned one hat to each our team members, and we will play our own role in listing out the perspective given in dealing with the problems of our systems. The six hats are the blue hat, which is for the process, the green hat for the creativity, white hat for the facts, yellow hat for the benefits, black hat for the cautions, and the red hat for the feelings. In our system, I think that the process hat is very important, which is the hat that I'm taking at that time. The blue hat is about the thinking, what thinking is needed, organizing the thinkings, and also planning for actions. I will be deciding about which hat is more important in dealing with particular problems and should be considered more. Other than that, I think that the red hat is particularly very important in our system because we should consider about the feelings of the victims when we're dealing with the aid relief problems. Moving on, I will be presenting about the functional requirements of our system. We have separated our functional requirements by modules. So for the first modules, it's about the disaster helping. If the users has signed in, the system should provide users with the ability to view the probability of rain together with the location details. Moving on, we have the volunteerism module. If the users has registered as volunteers, the system should provide the users with the ability to search nearby events or campaigns with details such as guidelines of the event or campaigns. Next, we have the donation module. The system should provide the users with the ability to donate money by entering an amount of money using e-wallets or credit card payment methods. Next, we have profile modules. The system should provide the users with the ability to view profile information with information such as name, pending tickets, and event they have participated in. Let's move on to the next slide. We have our quality requirements. In quality requirements, there are lots of them, but we will just list out a few of them that which we think are important on the slides. The first thing is about the performance. The app load time should not be more than 1 second when navigating to the other pages. This is to confirm that our user experience is great throughout the time that the user is using our app. Next, we have considered about the reliability of our system too. The app can consistently show each element on the pages 98% of the time without any misalignments. Lastly, we have considered about the ease of use of our system too. The users of different backgrounds can understand the symbols and words used easily. This is because in Malaysia, we know that our citizens is built out from people of different races. They came from different backgrounds, so that we think that we should have consider about the ease of use of our system, so that the user experience could be great no matter who our stakeholders are. Lastly, for my part, I will be talking about the constraint of our system. The first one is that the system shall not expand in a way that will risk the capital of our company more than 30%. The last one is that the maintenance fee of this system should not exceed 20% of the original development cost per year. This is to ensure that the maintenance fee is always reasonable and not to risk our capital of our organizations. I think that's all for my part. Thank you, Doctor.
Okay, hi doctor. So I'm Kanjuan from Team 9. So today I will present the context diagram and the class diagram. So this is our context diagram. So first we have third-party payment gateway. So this payment gateway is used in our make donation functions. And then second we have the third-party navigation apps, which is used in the map navigation from the user current location to the evacuation center. And then third one, we have the weather website, which is used to display the weather info in our app. The fourth one, we have the events and campaign database from the NGO or the government's websites, which is to display events and campaigns in our apps. And then the fifth one, we have a customer support, which is our internal system to manage the help desk and feedback sent by the users. And then the last one, we have the evacuation center database, which is also from the government, which is used to display all the evacuation center locations. Okay, next we have, this is our class diagrams. So let's get into the details in our class diagrams. So we have the main class, which is consists of 6 main functions. And then under the main class, we have the authenticate class, which is used for the sign in and sign out function. And then under the authenticate class, we have the login controller and register controller. And then under the login controller, we have the change powers class. Okay, and we also have the database connection class, which is used for connecting to our database. And then we have the navigation class, which is used for the app navigations. Okay, and then under the navigation, we have the 5 main functions. So the first one is the landing class, so which is used for the our homepage. And then we have the volunteering class, which is used for the user to join the volunteer as for the events. So under the volunteering class, we have the volunteering confirmation class. And then under the volunteering class, we have also the event class and date time class. And the location class is used for the display the events location and the evacuation center location, and also the location provided by the user when the user creates the tickets. And then the third page, we have the donation class. And then under the donation class, we have the payment gateway class. Okay, so the fourth page, we have the ticket class, which is used by the user to create tickets. So for tickets class, we have 3 type of tickets. So we have help class, which is used for request help. We have the event class, which is used for create events. And then we have a report class, which is used to create reports. And then the last one, we have the profile class. So under the profile class, we have the ticket class, which is used to display the user created tickets. And then we have the setting class, which is the profile settings. And then under the profile settings, we have the help desk class and feedback class. So the feedback is for the user to send the feedback to us. And then yeah, that's all for me. Thank you.
Okay, so hi doctor, I'm Kaiser. So for now, I will present about the main use case in our application. So the first use case is UC6, which search and display nearby event and campaign. So the purpose of this use case is to let the user to search and display the nearby event and campaign if their user are already registered as a volunteer. So if they are the volunteer and then they need to participate in an event or some campaign, then they can use this function because the purpose of this is to enlarge the community, the AIDS relief community. Yeah, so the first one you can see the click volunteer button and then the database will retrieve the event name to the user. So the user can either do search event or filter the search event that display just now. So after they've done all of it, and then the database will retrieve based on the result that the user select. After that, the user can select the location, and then the database will proceed with the event near to the user location. After that, the user only can select the specific event, and then the database only will display the specific details of the event to the user. So let us see to the UC6 activity diagram. Okay, so the user select volunteer page, and then the system get the event name and display to the user from database. Okay, after that, the user can either do search event or filter search. After they do it, and then the database will proceed to the user operation and then display the result to the user. So the user can select the event map, means that to select the location, and then the database will retrieve the nearer event or campaigns near to the user location and display to them. After that, the user can select the specific event and to get the specific detail of the event or campaign. Okay, so this is the UC6, and then this is UC7 create ticket function. Okay, so the purpose of this UC7 create ticket function is like there is a user are facing the difficulties or facing the natural disaster, then they don't know how to seek for the help, and then they can use this function. So there's the three function inside the create ticket page here. The first one is request help, second one help event, and the report. So the request help is when the user needs something help, like the food help or the money helps or need the cleaning help, then they then can click for this page and then do the following sequence, following action. Okay, so the help events is open for user and organization that the user like, oh, there's the after the flood and then their house is already messy, then they need to clean up. They can use the help event function, and then they can do the click help event button and then go to that page. Then for report, there's the user like they need to report something. There's the for example, there's the raining around 3 days and then the water rising at which place, and then the user can do the report to let our apps display the notification to others user at that place to let them more prepare more earlier. Okay, after that, the apps also need the location of the users. Okay, so if the location is accessed, then just directly retrieve from the system. If not, the user need to input manually. After that, they need to select type of help, like the food help, as I mentioned just now, the food help or money help or something like that. After that, for the request help, they need to enter the family size because it's a request for themselves. Then for help event, they need to enter participant size, how many participants that need to clean up this place or that place. Okay, for the report page, they need to upload an image for the evidence, and then all of them need to enter the description for more specific details. After that, the user click proceed and this is stored into their account and also in the database. So this is the concurrent process. Okay, so here as same as sequence diagram, there's the tree here, request help, help event or report. After that, they need to either choose location or retrieve the location from data if the location is accessed or denied. After that, they need to choose the type of help and then enter the specific info that needed by different pages. Okay, so as we said just now, this is the concurrent process. After user click proceed, and then it will store into the user account and so in the database for processing. Okay, so the another use case is UC8 display better info. So this is the purpose of this use case is let the user to prepare more earlier based on the weather info predicted. Okay, for example, there's the raining around 2 or 3 days and then the water rising, and then the user can make the preparation earlier, like keep the thing all higher to keep their safety. Okay, so the user open homepage and then the apps you get the weather info from another weather website. This is the external website. After they receive the weather info, they will do the prediction and also the calculate probability of raining and then to display to the user. Okay, same as the activity diagram, the user open the home page and then the system get the weather info, do the prediction and calculate probability. After that, display the weather info to the user. So the final main use case of this application is use C9 search and calculate route to nearest evacuation center. So the purpose of this use case is there's the something emergency happen, then the user need to evacuate to the nearest evacuation center, then they can use this to help them direct to the evacuation center. Okay, so when the user open and then you get the user location, after they display the nearest evacuation center to the user, and then when the user click evacuate, and then the apps will let the users choose either they need to use what navigation apps to direct to the location. So this is the activity diagram. The user open homepage and then the system will get the user location and display the nearer evacuation center. After the user click evacuate and then if you display, like for example, we have Google Map and also the base. So either user need to choose one of them and then use that apps to bring the user to the nearest evacuation center. So basically this is the all main use case for our application. So I will pass this to the next presenter. Thank you.
For now, I will do explanation on the development diagram. First of all, to download the Guru applications, users will need to access the web server to HTTPS for the guru.apk. And for the login and sign up, we connect them to their respective management in app server, which can retrieve the data from account server. However, for online payment, we use FTP and HTTPS since we want to store the transaction history for the events participated by the users. Actually, we also connected the predictions and calculation servers, which the probability components connected to the SaaS forecast and the calculation components connected to the Google Map API. Furthermore, all the tickets, reports, and events created are stored in tickets server. Then, for the ERD diagram, I will explain for the user part first. Zero or many users can volunteer in zero or many volunteer events that involve one or many events, and one or many users can also make 0 or 1 donations and or 0 or 1 tickets. Then, one or many organizations can generate 0 or many tickets that includes one and only one request or event or report. Then, one or many organizations can make 0 or many donations as well. For the mockup screen, actually, user will be greeted with this landing page first. Users can choose to sign up for their page, or they can, after they fill in their username, email, and password, and the type of the account they want to register, they just need to press the sign up and the user will be stored in the database. And then users will need to sign with their credentials, and boom, user will be greeted with homepage. Homepage got 4 components, which is the probability of raining and predicted precipitation. Actually, the data of these two is extracted from the website, external websites. Besides that, we also got the evacuate components, which the users can evacuate to the nearest evacuation centers calculated by our apps. And after the users press the evacuate, it will be redirect to the Google Maps for the nearest directions. And then we also got the announcement, which we query all the announcement from our database. Next is the volunteer page. Users can search for the volunteers event they like to participate, or they can view in this map views or list view. If they press in the map views and choose the events they want to participate, they will be greeted with all these details so that the users know what this event is about and the location as well as the day and time. After they press join, it will show a join successful screen so that the users know they have joined successfully. Besides that, we also got the donation page for the users to donate to the Float team. After the users enter the amount and press donate, we will prompt them to choose which type of server they want to use. And for this case, I want to choose credit card transfer. And then after they fill in all the information such as card number, card holder name, expire date, CVV, they just need to press the donate and donation successful. And last but not least is the create tickets page, which the users can request for help events, or make reports. For this case, I will show help events. After they help events and fill in all the particulars things and press help, and it will be held successfully, and a successful page will be shown to the users or organizations. Oh, forgot to say that actually this help event is only mainly for the organization account but not for the user's account. And for the report thing, it's actually same as a help event. Users need to press the reports and then they can report successfully. And lastly is the user account page. Actually, this user account page only shows the pending tickets and event participated by all the users in the past And then for the setting, they can edit your profiles and change all these sorts of things. Besides, we also got the help desk and feedback functions for them to ask for questions and to give feedbacks.
Hi, I'm Hoshin, and now I'll be explaining about the future improvement problem faced during the project and also the lesson learned. So firstly, for the future improvement, we can have a device or button linked to our app. Next, we can also provide an online counseling platform in our application in the future. This is to help the mental health of the victim. And next, we can implement AI to find social media posts for people needing aid and create tickets automatically. And lastly, we can obtain a certification from the government. This is to prove the credibility of our software. So next, we'll go to the problem faced during the application. Firstly, the user cannot create the announcement when there are emergency in front of them. Besides that, our apps needs internet connection to be accessed by user, so user cannot use our application when they are not connected to the internet, Wi-Fi or data. And then people does not believe to our app with the donation function because there are many phishing scam and also charity scam right now. And besides that, our application does not have accessibility features for the disabled person. And finally, our application relies on third-party app to provide navigation to evacuation center. For example, we use Google Maps and also Waze to provide the direction to the evacuation center. And now I'll be talking about the lesson learned throughout the project. So during the project, we had learned how to elicit the requirement by using elicitation technique such as interview and also brainstorming, for example, six thinking head. We also managed to identify the problem and propose a solution. Besides that, we learned how to design the prototype for the mobile app by using Figma. And then we are also able to list down specific and correct constraint, quality requirements, and also functional requirements. Besides that, we had learned some soft skill, for example, communication skill, time management skill, and teamwork. We attended every meeting on time to discuss about our project task and set the deadline for each task. We will also report our progress to the project leader every week to avoid delay of our tasks. When some of the team members have completed their task early, they are willing to help other members who are facing difficulties to complete the task before the due date. We realize that teamwork and responsibility of each team member are the key to the success of the project. So in conclusion, we learn lesson and improve soft skill, which will definitely bring advantages to us in conducting future project. And we appreciate the hard work of each other in leading the project to success. So that's all for our video presentation. Thank you.